You cannot escape from death.
Review bombing a game because they didn't say the stage is paid DLC is crazy. Any chance of us getting stuff now, and transparency is down the drain. So King J is saying that the players basically are overreacting, and the developers will basically not want to communicate as much as they have, right? And the example that I would give is Michael Murray. Michael Murray used to communicate a lot. Players got angry about balancing decisions and whatnot made during Tekken 7. He no longer communicates. Now, these are people responding to King J's tweet. Bad reviews for bad decisions is a good thing. This person, it's not just a stage, it's monetization practices. It's the introduction of shop after the review period. It's artificial replays locked if you don't have the character you're fighting against. People complain because things suck. Simple as that, right? So this person is also someone who responded to, my post where I said Tekken 8 got review bombed. But this person says, hi, game developer perspective here. I believe Tekken 8 showcases how some fans are creating conditions for their favorite games to disappear. Regardless of how unruly your paying customers get, I mean, at the end of the day, you need them to buy your product. If your product isn't something that's like necessary to live, like water or like food or something, you kind of have to bend to the customers. And I think that's how it should always be. There's a lot of games that's free to play, and those game companies still finds a way to make $1 billion by the end of the year. So talking about, the game being 50, 60 bucks and, the cost of games to go up, you can really get that out of here, in my opinion. With Tekken 8 selling 2 to 3 million units so far, the game isn't financially sustainable yet. So the $5 DLC stage and 4 $8 DLC characters are clearly necessary. So to that part, I would agree. I do think that this game is not financially stable, and you can argue that's their own fault. This game had 1 million pre-orders day one and sold 2 million copies in the first month. The players did their, job of supporting this game at launch. But you know what the developers then did? They dropped a secret surprise battle shop store on us. And then what they immediately did after that was try to kill mods, which existed in Tekken for as long as I can remember. So this $300,000 to make a stage, that's not, I don't want to say it's not true, but that number's outdated. The most recent statement that I've seen from Harada, he said the stage costs $180,000. Tekken 8 on paper is astonishingly risky bet. It's also delusional on paper and can only survive with a concurrent Tekken player throwing $5 added every 3 to 4 months, or aggressive growth. Now, I don't disagree with this as well. And once again, you could talk about the shops. They drop like 4 skins every month, roughly, and players buy it. A lot of people buy it. Players are already throwing $5 at this game every month with the shop, with characters. Why do you need to, tax for a stage as well? In my opinion, once again, that's the developers. They're asking for too much. They're taking too much from the player and trying to sell it back and maximize their profits. I do think the Tekken player base is passionate. I do think the game is not growing enough. Once again, you could say the developers did that. And then 2, I think the players do get very angry and chaotic and wonder why other games are gone. But what Tekken 7 showed us, because you have this image here, Tekken 7 showed us that without all of this greedy monetization, you can make 12 million copies and get a booming franchise. You can do good without charging $5 for a stage separate from the season pass. Also a AAA game developer here. I don't think games audience should care about the ongoing financials of a product they support. And if we step outside of video games and let's say fast food, when you are deciding what you want to eat for dinner, are you thinking about how much money or the stock of like a McDonald's? You're not thinking about these things. You're just thinking about what I want to eat, what's the price, is it a fair price? That's how the world works. This idea that the players have to take into consideration what the developers financial status is, no, like people don't do that. So we talked about the review bomb and how it started from the stage, right? But currently going on right now, they have been hit with another review bomb. Bandai Namco at this tournament here disqualified a Chinese player for simply being Chinese. A sanction is supposed to hurt, and it hurts more than just the government, it hurts the citizens. For many other sports organizations, for esports organizations, some of them will allow players who come from sanctioned regions to compete under the term individual neutral athlete. The Tekken World Tour doesn't do this. But this person showed up to TGU, as you can see, they're at TGU. And this person was just playing. And what I hear is playing incredibly. This person says, I spoke to the player's friends and they said that he cried after being disqualified. What happened to letting everyone play video games? The developers always talk about how they want you to go out there and participate. Go out there and get involved, right? Come to a tournament and it's a great time and hang out. They should put a little asterisk there and say, not if you're Chinese, right? That's basically what they said here. This goes back to Tekken 7. Bandai Namco doesn't allow Russian players to participate in the TWT event. This is a Russian player trying to get into the tournament. We just received news from Bandai Namco that Russians are not allowed to participate. And then they gave him a refund. How is this not the same thing for the Chinese player? How are they allowed to get this far? Wasn't Haigem at TGU? Wait a minute. So here's another player. This, as the bio said, let me scroll up. Russian Tekken champion. So this is a Russian player who is still in the tournament and completed his run, knocked out at 17th. The other guy, the Chinese player, got disqualified in top 16. Also, to the thing about China, Harada goes there from time to time and they have their own tournaments. Please don't give up on China Tekken. So this is back in May 4th. You know, this is a whole legit tournament. It's a small tournament, but there's a lot of tournaments out there that's pretty small, right? This says we had to disqualify a player from Tiger Uppercut who does not reside in our eligible countries under the Tekken World Tour 2024 regulations. Although we did our best to explain the circumstances to the player and followed our official rules, this led to an unprecedented situation. We understand that this decision has caused disappointment amongst some members of the community, and we will consider adjusting the rules for future reasons. You talk about Street Fighter doing everything right, and Tekken and Mortal Kombat just constantly shooting themselves in the foot. So you have very positive to mixed and mostly positive to totally mixed. We understand that, you know, the executives are putting pressure on them to make a profit, and that's why they're going so hard on the store. We understand these things, but it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? Shameful and embarrassing behavior. Yikes. Everyone's really going hard on them. I understand there's so much to consider, but irritating to see official statement, we followed the official rules. That's basically what they said. Yeah, we created these rules that China cannot participate and we followed those rules. What? Me when the TOs ask if I'm from China?
Niggas say I'm out of town, I'm in Hong Kong. I'm just trying to get this cash in Hong Kong. I don't care about fight, I'm in Hong Kong. Nigga coming looking for me, I'm in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. They gotta figure it out. 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 I gotta get it together.